Okay, we're back. Thank you. We're going to go over some quick math questions. Thanks for joining. Let's take a look at this. And these are some questions I picked up from a book here. So you'll see the number 2, but actually, problem number 1 was so easy, I didn't want to put it on. So just ignore the number. But just look at the equation. And the equation is m over 3 plus 3 equals -2. What I chose to do was treat all of these here as if they are fractions, because you know that if you ever want to use them as a fraction, the constant after the equal sign becomes -2 over 1, and this becomes 3 over 1. And that's supposed to be a 1. It looks awful, but it's supposed to be a 1. So anyway, here is what happens. I just changed it. And if you do this, or you can do it mentally, that helps you to go on to the next step. And in the next step, what you're going to do now is find the common denominator. 3, because 3 is the highest here. You guys call it the greatest common factor, or the least common denominator. The one you can use is not the least, it's the greatest of all of these. So it's 3. So across the board, it's 3. Now here's the situation. When you get ready to do this, 3 goes into 3 one time, so you just place it down. 3 goes into 3 3 times, but 3 times this 3 equals 9. And there's your 9. This 3 times this -2, and please keep your negatives here. This is a negative, so don't forget it when you get ready to drop it here. That's a -6. So this is 3 times -2 equals a -6. Okay, so there you have, now that all of your numerators have changed. Top number is m still, except for this one, m, not, then plus 9 over 3, -6 over 3. And if you want to check yourself, isn't 9 over 3 the same thing as saying 3? We're just changing it because we have to multiply a fraction. Some people would cross multiply, but then and it would give you the same answer. You come out with 3 times -2 is -6 over here, but let's do this for now. Let's go the long way. Now, solve the new equation. You're just adding straight through. This now comes to 3, -2. You're going backwards. You take in your -3 over -5. I did regress. We could have just done this from step 1. But just to show you how you change it. Now, this is 5 over 1. We could have saved us some time and energy, but that's okay. You get the concept. And now you have m over 3, 3 times -5. You're going to cross multiply, and this is 1 times m. So we'll do that in the next slide. When you cross multiply 3 times 5, you get 15. And I'm going to change colors here. When you cross multiply 1 times m, you get m, because this is implied as 1m. And this was a -5, so this has to be a -15. Sorry about that. But your answer was here. So it's a -15. We could have saved space, but I wanted to bring that. Okay, same situation. This one here is an awful problem, because here's what you have here. You have a negative s, or 1s, and you have a positive s over here. So you're going to take the constant term to the side that is with the other constant term. But to do that, what do you have to do? You have to change. Either you change everything into a fraction or a decimal, and on this slide I change it to a decimal. If you remember this 6.6, this 6 is a whole number. So this whole number is here. And this 2/3, you guys remember this from elementary school, 66%. Some of you guys in high school know it's a repeating decimal, or it's 0.66. Okay? So then all you have to do, since you already had the whole, and you have this side here, is go on ahead and do what? Add 6, and then add this part here, 6.66. Same as 6 and 2/3. They are equal. Okay, so now you have a new fraction. Well, here's the situation. You are now going to take this constant term over to this side, but you're taking its additive inverse, so that's -7. I showed this here in this step. So that's -7 over here. This is going to be, when you go 7.00 minus 6.66, and you do your math, for that's a 0, guys. 0.34. I showed it here. So now you still have a decimal. Also, you should know that 1/3 is really 33%, but it's just a point up. And if you were rounding, since it's lower than 4, it becomes 3. So now you have 6/12. How did I get a half? Uh-oh. 6 goes into itself one time, and it goes into 12 two times. So we convert 6/2 to 1/2. And so 6 goes into 6 one time, and 6 goes into 2 12 times. We reverse it. 6 times 2 is 12. So all you have to do, take yourself to a circle, 6 times 2. But that, when you think about it, this 1/2 is what? 50%. So 50% as a decimal is written in as 0.50. So now you have this here. -1s minus 0.5s. And we're taking this to the other side. These two cross out when you do its negative. So let's go on to the next slide. And in the next slide, we decided to cross multiply here. And so we took this over here and we got this. The reason we did this here, 0.5 in the negative, is because we had an s term. Just drawing an arrow here. And so we did this, and then you had 0.35 over 0.58, and then that's 2/3 because you did it here. Oops. Looks like a donut there. So you want to cross, becomes a 5, take it over, the dot goes straight up here. 0.5 goes into 0.3 0 times. 0, 3, and 4. 5 times 6 is 30. 4 with an implied 0. 5 goes into 40, that's a 40. 5 goes in 48 times. So that's how you get it as a decimal. And see, the answer choice that we had from the book was 2/3. So you have to know your decimals and fractions if you do it this way. If not, here's the alternative method. You're going to have to take 6 out on this side. And 6 has to come out on both sides. So you have this here. We need to multiply both sides of the equation by 6. Where are you getting 6 from? This 6. And you take 6 because if you do it on this side, have to do it on this side. So you have a 6 here and a 6 here. So look at all this foolishness. 6 times 6 and 2/3. I left this here, but look at this. You want to make sure that 6 goes into every term, so I did put up a bracket. And with your brackets, you have negative 6x. Remember this is negative 1. 6 times a half, well, come on guys, you know this. 6 over 1. And remember it's times because of the bracket. It's a bracket. So you multiply it over. So that's how you get your 3. And that's a positive here, so it's positive. And then 6 times 7 is 42. So you have a new equation now. You can go ahead and take these two terms here and get negative 6 plus 3, you get negative 3s, plus 42 equals 6 and 2/3 times 6. You have fractions over here that you got rid of. If you want to do a decimal, you can, but let's go to the next slide. In the next slide, you see that you're going to take 6 times this, but I turned it into a fraction first, and I showed you the math. 3 times 6 is 18 plus 2, so you get a 20 over 3. And here's the math of that. Now, do you already know that if you have 20 over 3, this is a bracket here, you are multiplying 6 over 1. You see this familiar? This is going to become 120. Let's go to the next side, and here it's done for you. You have 120 over 3, because this is a 1. So now you have that. 3 into 120 probably comes out to about 40, and it did. And so now you get rid of the constant and take it over to the other term. That's a negative because you're taking its additive inverse. That is a negative here. You look. Okay, I'm just going to dot that here and then get rid of it just to point it out to you. So that becomes negative 2 over here, and this gets rid of it. So you have 3s, and now you solve. This is negative 3 times s. So its multiplicative inverse, as I use the term here, not its additive inverse, but its multiplicative, is negative 1/3 times negative 3s. And then this is 1/3 on this side. Let's go to our final slide here. S is equal to 2/3. Well, that's the same answer you had before, but you did it with a decimal. Hey guys, it's been a great time. Thanks for watching jacobfitzlearning.com or jacobfitzlearning@gmail.com if you have any questions. Thank you.